There's a moment, almost invisible in its passing, when a butterfly in Brazil flutters its wings. The air trembles, barely disturbed, and yet somewhere far away, a storm begins to gather over distant seas. That single motion, delicate, ephemeral, becomes a metaphor that haunts science and philosophy alike: the butterfly effect. At its heart, the butterfly effect is a truth both haunting and liberating. It suggests that in a world ruled by chaos, even the tiniest choice can echo across time in ways we can never predict. It says that small things, often unnoticed, can cascade into outcomes far greater than we imagine. But what does that actually mean beyond the poetic analogy? And how does a theory first whispered by a meteorologist in the 20th century expand to touch every corner of human life, from weather to fate, from quantum physics to love? To understand the butterfly effect, we need to begin with its birthplace: chaos theory. In the early 1960s, meteorologist Edward Lorenz was studying weather patterns using one of the first computers available to scientists. One day, he reran a simulation using numbers rounded off by a fraction, just a few thousandths of a point. When he returned, he expected a similar result. Instead, the entire weather system had evolved dramatically differently. His small change in input, barely perceptible, had rewritten the entire future of the simulation. That discovery shattered a core assumption of science, that precise causes create predictable effects. Lorenz realized something revolutionary: that complex systems, like the weather, are incredibly sensitive to their starting conditions. That sensitivity means the tiniest alteration at the beginning can produce enormous, unpredictable differences later. This became known as the butterfly effect. It was more than a scientific observation. It was a new philosophy of reality. Picture this: you wake up 5 minutes later than usual. You miss an earlier bus. Because of that, you stand beside a stranger you might never have met. You exchange a glance, a sentence, a smile. That moment seeds an entire timeline: a new friendship, a love story, a business idea, a child yet to be born. One tiny shift in your routine, 1 minute difference in your path, and everything downstream changes. The butterfly effect turns every instant into a crossroads. Every hesitation, every breath, every word we speak has the potential to steer not only our lives, but countless others. That realization is both thrilling and terrifying, because it means the universe isn't a neat sequence of causes and effects, but a living, breathing storm of infinite possibility. The world runs on countless interconnected systems: biological, social, environmental, emotional, all feeding back into each other. A raindrop shifts the shape of a river. A spark ignites a revolution. A sentence heals or destroys a friendship. We live in a feedback loop of influence so vast that no one can trace its full reach. Yet humanity often forgets the scale of this interconnectedness. We imagine the big things as the drivers of change: wars, inventions, revolutions. But behind every large event is an accumulation of the small, the forgotten, the imperceptible. Every empire begins with a single decision. Every discovery begins with a question asked in curiosity. Every heartbreak starts with one unspoken word. The butterfly effect reminds us, cause and effect are not linear, they're fractal, branching infinitely. Think of a tree. One seed falls into soil instead of another. The wind shifts, the rain changes. Decades later, that variation shapes an entire forest. In the same way, a single person makes a choice consciously or not, and that decision ripples across humanity like invisible waves through time. Consider history. A single missed letter could alter a peace treaty. One scientist choosing to study a certain subject rather than another could redefine medicine. A minor miscommunication might set a war in motion. An unforeseen act of kindness could prevent one. The delicate web of events that forms the present is built upon layers of coincidence and chance, stitched together by countless invisible threads. When viewed from this perspective, the ordinary moments of our lives take on a sacred weight. Every small act, every decision to speak or stay silent, to forgive or hold anger, to move forward or stand still, becomes a seed with unknown potential. It gives meaning to the smallest gestures. A teacher's extra encouragement might inspire a child destined to transform the world. A single viral video may shift cultural awareness. The butterfly's wing beat is alive in modern form through the posts, the whispers, and the shared sparks of a hyper-connected world. And yet, while the butterfly effect emphasizes sensitivity and chaos, it isn't only about randomness. Hidden inside it is an idea of infinite connection, of subtle order woven through disorder. Like a symphony built from countless tiny notes, the universe balances the unpredictable with the harmonious. In physics, chaos theory doesn't mean true disorder, It means a system so complex that prediction becomes impossible because of how interdependent its parts are. Each particle, each force, each fluctuation affects the whole in a way that's too intricate to map. The beauty is that even in this chaos, patterns emerge. Fractals, mathematical shapes that repeat at every scale, are nature's visual expression of this paradox. From snowflakes and coastlines to the branching of lungs and lightning, the same structure echoes across realms, revealing an underlying symmetry within chaos. The butterfly effect is the dance between uncertainty and pattern, between chance and consequence. It shows us that the tiniest fragments of existence are never irrelevant. This realization has enormous implications, far beyond weather forecasting. In economics, small market shifts can snowball into crises. In ecosystems, a single species decline can destabilize entire chains of life. In communication, one rumor can shape a nation's mood. Scale amplifies sensitivity. Every system, human or natural, hums with this same fragility. But there's another way to see it, one more personal, more spiritual. If every small act can ripple outward, then our lives are not trivial. Every thought, decision, and action carries weight beyond what we can perceive. We are not detached observers of the universe. We are participants in its unfolding. Imagine standing before an ocean. You toss in a stone. The waves carry its energy outward, touching shores you'll never see. That's what our choices do in the sea of time. Even when we feel insignificant, our ripple moves through people, through moments, through generations. This awareness can be overwhelming, even paralyzing. If everything matters, how can we act? How can we know which ripples are good or bad? Perhaps the lesson of the butterfly effect is not to obsess over perfection, but to act with intention. Because control is an illusion, but meaning is a choice. Small, compassionate actions, kindness, honesty, curiosity may create ripples that balance the chaotic waves of the world. Every time we choose empathy over apathy, we alter the tapestry of history, even if we never see the pattern unfold. When Lorenz first shared his theory, it was met with skepticism. The idea that the flap of a butterfly's wing could stir a typhoon sounded like romantic exaggeration. But as decades passed, every field from meteorology to philosophy found echoes of truth in it. What he discovered was not just scientific, it was existential. Reality is not a clock we can wind and measure. It's a cloud of possibilities, sensitive to every breath within it. Even our brains, through networks of neurons and chemicals, function as chaotic systems. A single synapse firing differently can determine a thought, an emotion, a decision. That momentary impulse may redirect years of life. Consciousness itself may be a living demonstration of the butterfly effect, each thought a wing beat in the storm of identity. And in the age of digital connection, the butterfly's reach has multiplied. A post shared by one person can ripple into millions of screens, changing conversations, inspiring movements. Online, every action, every comment, every share, every moment of attention feeds a cascade of influence more powerful than any before in human history. The digital era has turned the metaphor literal. Our smallest interactions ripple across an infinite network of minds. The butterfly effect is both a warning and a wonder. It warns us that chaos grows from negligence as easily as from intention. A careless decision, amplified by time, can spiral into harm. But it also offers wonder, the idea that hope can spread just as easily. That one small good act can echo across generations unseen. And sometimes, the ripples return. The same sensitivity that sends our choices into the future also ensures that others' choices reach us. Every kindness ever shown, every injustice ever committed, threads into the story that shaped this moment, this world we inherit now. We are all echoes of wing beats from the past. That awareness should not frighten us, but awaken us. It reminds us that while we can't control the storm, we are not powerless within it. The butterfly effect doesn't tell us to predict the future, it tells us to understand our participation in it. It tells us that meaning lives in smallness, in the gesture, the word, the decision made quietly in private. Each day, we perform thousands of invisible acts that fade from our memory but not from the fabric of the world. The words we speak to a friend, the thought we nurture or dismiss, the patience we offer in a moment of anger, the courage to create art, to build, to dream. These are the fluttering wings that carry new realities forward. And if chaos ensures that the future is uncertain, then it also ensures that miracles remain possible. Change begins at the scale of the butterfly. So the next time you doubt that your small effort matters, remember this. Somewhere, Across some unseen distance, the wind you set in motion may already be shaping a storm of transformation. The effects may not bear your name, but they exist, alive and resonating through the tangled currents of the world. Every whisper of motion, every choice, every breath contributes to something vast and unknowable. And that, perhaps, is the most beautiful truth of all, that in a universe of infinite complexity, your smallest act still matters. The butterfly does not question the wind. It simply flies. And in doing so, it changes everything.